Based on the most recent real estate data here in Greenville, South Carolina, home prices may be on the rise again. What we're seeing is if we compare October of 2023 compared to October of 2022, homes went up from the average sales price by 6% appreciation. Yearly, we've been trending around 4% appreciation. So we had a 50% increase in appreciation during a time when normally we start to see the real estate market cool off. This could be a very interesting trend, especially knowing that October had some of the highest interest rates we've seen in a very long time. Hi, I'm Evan Whaley, your favorite Greenville realtor. There's a lot of really interesting things that have been happening here in the Greenville, South Carolina real estate market. Home price appreciation and the continued growth of home prices here in the area is just one of them. We've had a lot of people who've been relocating to the area. We've had a lot of people who are making moves. We've had so many reasons why our local real estate market has been growing and increasing and continuing to appreciate. We're here in the beginning of December as I'm filming this. When we look at the month of November, I'm really curious to see what that data ends up showing us because we had 4 consecutive weeks of interest rates going down as a whole and 4 straight weeks of mortgage applications going on the rise. So we're seeing even more buyers that are out there in the market now, which is going to continue to signal that home prices will continue to increase. So as I mentioned, that's just one of the trends that we're seeing. And overall, it looks like the Greenville real estate market is very healthy and we're going to continue to see strong price appreciation here over the next coming months and years. Another thing that's been really interesting is we've gone so long with a lack of inventory. We've had historically low inventory levels for the last few years. What's been really interesting is typically we see after August that our new listings start to do this. Especially as we get here into the winter months, we really start to see those new listings almost hit a nosedive. Specifically in 21 and 22, we sold more homes in December than we actually listed. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of really interesting trends that are happening here in the Greenville real estate market. The second one that I find really interesting is we're starting to see inventory levels come back up. We have been in this historically low inventory environment for so long now. What's been really interesting this year is October actually was higher than September, and September's levels were very close to August. What we're starting to see is it seems like more sellers are willing to list their home. They've got a lot of equity in their property and maybe they're just ready to cash in at this point. Or people have been sitting on the fence for so many years and they don't want to sit anymore. But it's a positive sign for those that are looking for great homes to buy that more homes are hitting the market. It's really interesting that more homes hit the market in October, but we also had a very high level of increase in prices as well. And it looks like it's going to be a trend that's going to continue. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this inventory trend. Traditionally, in November and December, people don't want to list their home because they have family in town, they're dealing with the holidays, or people just think that it's a bad time to sell a house. What is really interesting is in our market here in Greenville, we have seasonality like every market does, but we don't tend to have it in the levels of extreme that I see in some other places. We tend to have a very gradual decrease after kind of that spring to school year time frame. But it doesn't just like completely fall off the cliff. We're still selling homes every single month. And what's been really interesting is the past 2 years, when we look at 21 and 22, in December, we sold more homes than we listed. That is the only month of the year where that's actually happened in the last 2 years. And the only time that has happened where more homes were sold than listed in the last 2 years, the other month was November actually. So it is really interesting that a lot of times people will hesitate from listing their home during those months, but truly those are some really motivated buyers that are eager to go out there and purchase a home. And if we actually go back all the way to 2021, December actually had the second most home purchases of all the months of that entire year. When we combine the two things that I've talked about with home price appreciation being higher than the yearly number that we've seen in the month of October, we combine with we're seeing more listings come to the market, it'll be really interesting to see how all of this plays out over the long term. In the month of November, we saw that interest rates went down almost a full 1%, which created a lot of additional buyers coming into the market and a lot of people filling out mortgage applications like I mentioned. But we also have more people wanting to list their home. So it will be really interesting to see because of course, just with anything, it is a supply and demand market. And we've had such a high demand for so long and such a limited supply. What could be good news is I think a lot of people would really love, if they are selling their house and they're staying local, to be able to find their next place. That actually prevented a lot of people from selling their home. So we might move more towards a very neutral and balanced market where sellers are still making good appreciation when they sell their home, but there are still a lot of great opportunities for buyers out there in the market as well. Overall, what we've seen in Greenville County is there's not enough resale homes for buyers. They're really craving and they want a place that has mature landscaping and maybe is a more established neighborhood. So in Greenville County, we've really seen that that market is moving really well from a seller standpoint. From a buyer standpoint, where we've seen buyers win a lot is especially in the new build world right now. There's a lot of new communities that have been planned. I've been told there's over 200 right now that are in the works here in the general upstate area. So there's a lot of competition right now between the builders to get business. And so buyers are finding they're getting a lot of sweet incentives, especially as we're here at the end of the year, to close before the end of the year on these products that are already built, or just to go ahead and be one of the first people to enter into one of these new communities. I'm curious, of all the things that I said, what was most surprising to you? Drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you.